Welcome, everyone, to this month's live presentation. I'm John Kormanik. I am the CEO and head coach at John Kormanik Coaching. I coach lawyers exclusively who are accomplished seekers. Accomplished seekers are those people who would tell someone, a colleague, a friend, a family member, that they have a coach, and that person would look at them quizzically and say, "Why do you need a coach?" My clients understand that in order to achieve their full potential and optimize their lives, having someone like me who's walked a bit in their area, having practiced law for 25 years, owned and led a successful law firm for 16, having me by their side helps them be able to elevate, empowers them to explore what is next and what high performance truly looks like. It's wonderful for you to be here. As always, 25 minutes. Today we have 10 slides, and we're going to talk about a central leadership concept, what I call command versus demand. So we have limited time. Let's jump right in. Let me share my screen here. Just give me one hot second. We'll do this one. Okay. No, you know what? We're going to do this one. Fantastic. So, command, don't demand. That's what we're all about today. Just need to find a way. There we go. Okay. Most law firm leaders believe they're great communicators until, and I've got a question for you. Have you ever wondered why your team isn't as dedicated as you are to the success of a project or your law firm as a whole? Have you thought they'll never care about this as much as I do? Has that thought ever entered your mind? Or have you ever thought that you were leading until you turned around and there was no one following you? It's not them, it's you. It's your leadership that results in a lack of buy-in, a lack of dedication, a lack of working as hard as you would, a lack of people following you. It's not them, it's you. It's a leadership opportunity. And so, as lawyers, we believe that we're great communicators, whether we're trial lawyers, whether we're litigators, whether we're transactional attorneys, no matter the area of law that you practice, we believe our training makes us great communicators. It's simply not so. The good news is that you can learn to be a great communicator. Communicators are created, they're not born. And so, our time together today is going to help you. The work that you do outside of our time together today is going to help you. The work that you and I do together in a coaching relationship will help you be a world-class communicator. Let's do a reality check here. What story are you telling yourself? Because it all is driven by the story that you're telling yourself. Again, we're trained to be articulate. We're good with words. Articulation does not equal influence. It's that simple. You can be as articulate as all get out. It doesn't mean that you're influencing the people that you're communicating with. There is a difference. As a matter of fact, I would say that you in order to influence people, you don't necessarily have to be the most articulate person in the room. You don't have to be the person who's great with words. It helps, but it also gets in the way because we think that if we're articulate, we are automatically influencing. Not true. So, what story are you telling yourself? I'm articulate. They should understand. They should follow me. Information without alignment creates friction, fatigue, and flaws. Say that 5 times fast. I'm going to say it again. Information without alignment creates friction, fatigue, and flaws. What does that mean? Alignment. Alignment with what? Every time I work with a client, one of the first things they do is create a vivid vision for their law practice, their law firm, if they're an owner, many of them are, and their personal future. They create a vision. It's alignment with vision, number one. What else are we aligned to? We're aligned with core values. They could be the firm's core values, your individual practices core values, your individual core values, and most importantly, the core values of the people that you're communicating with, your team. We have to shift from transactional talk to transformational leadership. Uh, Strike that. Let me try that again. We don't have to do anything. You are better served if you shift from transactional talk to transformational leadership. And here's what I mean. How are you served? Your time will be freed up. You will have more of it when you transition into the transformational leadership place. That's number one. And if I hear one thing from the people that I speak with, the lawyers that I speak with all over the world, time is one of the things that is their biggest stressor. So, shifting from transactional talk to transformational leadership will free up time. It will also create a whole bunch of knock on benefits that we're going to talk about as we go through our time together today. You're articulate. You're trained to be articulate. You know that words matter. Articulation does not automatically translate into influence. There may be a wow factor. I nailed that, or your team is listening and saying, "Wow, that's he said that or she said that really well." Doesn't mean that it's influence. Influence is getting people invested in your goals. Sharing information without alignment of vision and core values creates friction. We're internally a little discombobulated. We're a little off internally. We get tired because the cognitive load needs to be invested to create alignment, and it results in flaws, which means reduced work product quality, rework, redoing things, wasting time when we could have done it the first time more effectively and efficiently if we had alignment. And finally, shifting from transactional talk to transformational leadership. We're going to talk about all these things today. I love this quote from George Bernard Shaw. I love it. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. How many times have you walked out of a meeting thinking, we're aligned, my team gets it, my team understands what the goal is, what we're doing here, their level of responsibility and ownership over the project, only then to come back and think after the project is updated or done, quote unquote, done from their perspective, and you look at it and this is nothing like what I asked for. You believed that communication had taken place. You had Shaw's illusion. It's the biggest thing, and your team thinks the same way. When they leave a meeting with you, oh, I understand exactly what is required of me. I get what is needed of me in this space. And they go and they do their work. They're not trying to fall short. They're not trying to fail. They're trying to do what they think you want them to do. They also have Shaw's illusion that communication is taking place. So it's a it's a two-way street here. Both parties have the illusion, right? If they didn't, they would communicate differently. They would check and ensure alignment and understanding and ownership and what done means and all of these things. So, if you take one thing away from our time together today, I think you're going to take more than one thing. If you take one thing away from our time together today, it's to keep the illusion in the front of your mind and to think, am I kidding myself? Or do we have alignment? Have I communicated in a way that gives my team ownership and is going to result in the product that I want, the done that I want? Keep that in mind. There are two types of communication paths, right? There's demanding and commanding, and they're very, very different. Demanding is a top down. Demanding reminds me of parenting my daughter, Allie, who's a fantastic adult. She's a wonderful human being. When she was 5, sometimes the answer was because I said so. And that never went over well with Allie. I will tell you, she, she understood in a kind of innate level, even at 5, that there are two communication paths. And she bristled at the demanding one. So demanding is top down, commanding is purpose driven. Hey, this is why we do this thing the way we do this thing. This is why. This is the purpose. This is the end result. This is the why, right? Demanding results in compliance. This also reminds me of parenting my daughter. Again, she's a wonderful adult. I love her with all of my heart. My wife Michelle and I had these conversations with our daughter, and our families are not much different than our teams, really, at the end of the day. We would tell her from a top-down perspective to do something, and she would do exactly what we said. No more, no less. Are you getting that from your team? Are they doing just no more, no less? Is that the activity that is driving your belief that they don't care as much as you do? They're not as invested as you do. They're not willing to work as hard as you do. That could be because of top-down communication path. They are in the compliance mode. When we're commanding, when we're a leader, and we develop that purpose-driven communication style, we engender commitment. People go above and beyond what we have asked them to do because they are committed. Think about how that would feel in your business, in your law firm, with your team, heck, with your family. If they were committed because you used a purpose driven approach, you were a leader, not a manager. The final area of demanding is what it's powered by. We're going to talk about energy in a moment because if you know me, we always talk about energy because our attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs drive everything. So we're going to talk about that. Demanding communication is powered by urgency and fear for your team. They do not want to fail and they want to get it done as soon as possible to get out of the stress, right? Commanding leadership, it's powered by your team by clarity and energy, enthusiasm and dedication. Those are the two results, right? So we have demanding, we have the style is top down, we have one of the results is compliance, doing only what you say needs to be done, and it's powered by urgency and fear. In other words, stress, which can result in burnout. From a commanding communication path, you are a leader. It is purpose-driven communication. This is why we do it. This is why I want it. Tell me how you think it needs to be done. It results in commitment from your team, and it's powered by clarity, energy, enthusiasm, dedication. There's not much chance of burnout in that space. Why energy matters. I talk about energy in each and every one of my presentations. It is how I am trained as a coach. More importantly, it is what I have come to understand and believe. When I talk about energy here, I'm talking about attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs, APBs. What you think drives your feelings, what you feel, which drives your actions or behaviors, which drives your results, TFAR. Your words, when you communicate, are simply the medium that you are sharing your energy with. They're not separate and apart. They are the actions that are driven by your thoughts and your feelings. So words are the medium. Your energy, your attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs dictates how your message is received. How you show up dictates how your team receives the message. I shared a story about my daughter Allie because I said so. That was not received very well because it was not coming from an anabolic space. It was coming more from a catabolic, a level 1, which is victim, or level 2, which is frustration, anger, aggression, right? It was coming from that space. That's how the message is received. Now I communicate much differently, right? So let's talk about those the 7 levels of energy in the energy leadership framework. Level 1 is victim, as we said, right? It is powerlessness. My team doesn't care as much as I do. Why bother? We're going to focus on level 2, which is conflict, right? It is control and struggle. One of the core thoughts in level 2 is I win. I don't care if you win. If you win, great, but I really don't care. In leadership in a multi generational workplace, I will tell you that is a demanding space and it's going to affect your ability to recruit and retain. Level 4, I'm going to skip over level 3, which is responsibility, and get to level 4. Level 4 is service and empathy. It is not only service of others, though, it's service of self and service of firm and service of client. You can look at it in that way. We oftentimes think service is outwardly based. That's part of it. It's also inwardly focused as well. So how do I serve every one and everything I need to serve in this communication, in this leadership moment? And level 5 is win-win, right? It's kind of reconciliation. I win, you win. This is where you get to know your team. What moves their needle? Because what moves their needle is critical for you to know, because it doesn't really matter what moves your needle. For them, it's what moves their needle. And that's the leadership key, is finding out what motivates your team and then communicating with them in that way. And of course, at level 6, we have synchronicity and synthesis, which is we all win or we're not going to play this game. And level 7 is non-judgment. It's pure awareness. It's getting to pick and choose how to communicate effectively with the folks that you need to lead. Here's where leaders slip. Number 1, team meetings become checklists and are not used to create alignment. Think about your team meetings. Number 1, are you having them? If you're not, that's nugget number 2. Take it with you. Have team meetings. Make them purposeful. Create alignment in your team meetings. Don't just make them a checklist. When they become checklists, we reduce their value. When we reduce their value, we don't believe that they're worth our time and they slide off the calendar. So if you don't have them, start them. Use them to create alignment. If you've had them in the past and they slid off your calendar, is it because they became checklists and not to create alignment? Your feedback. Here's where leaders slip. Feedback becomes conflict avoidance or criticism. Oh, I don't want to have this conversation. It's the what clients or anyone talks to me about. It's a difficult conversation. It's not. No conversations are difficult. You are, again, articulate. You are a highly educated person. What makes them difficult is the story that you tell yourselves around them. It's the thought. And so when we're doing feedback, let's not do it from a conflict avoidance space. Let's not do it from a criticism space. Let's do it from a growth mindset space. What went well? Where did we come up short? How can we improve in the future? So that's number two on how leaders slip. Number three on how leaders slip. Delegation lacks ownership. Delegation without ownership just means that you're in the loop, you're going to be asked questions, and your team doesn't feel empowered. You must lead from a place of relinquishing ownership over the results to your team. It's uncomfortable because it feels risky. And we think, I can just do it better. It's not true. It's just not true. So, where leaders slip, team meetings become checklists and don't create alignment. Feedback becomes conflict avoidance and or criticism, and delegation lacks ownership. How to shift from demand to command. Here are four simple practices. Take a screenshot. On a Mac, it's Command Shift 4. Drag your cursor, take a screenshot of this, or ping me. I'm happy to send you a copy of the entire deck. I'll send you a PDF of the entire deck. No problem. No questions asked. So, how to shift to command. Number one, pause and self assess. What's your energy here? Where are you coming from? Are you coming from victim or frustration? Or are you coming from service and win win? Ask yourself that. That insight is often enough to shift from demand to command. Number two, lead with purpose, not pressure. What is our purpose here? What is our vision? What is our mission? What are our core values? If you don't have any of those three things for yourself or your business, ping me. We should have a conversation. Lead with purpose, not pressure. Number three, audit your words. You are articulate. You get to pick and choose. Audit your words. Invite and create ownership by your team. They will care as much as you do. The reason they don't is because you're not leading well. It's not them, it's you. And invite process creation while protecting outcome clarity, which means they get to define the process. If you're handing it off, if you're delegating, they get to define it. You set the outcome. This is what I want. This is the end product. And you're very clear on it. They get to decide how to do it. You get to decide when it's due. They get to decide how to do it, right? If you have tips for them, you can certainly share the tips. I mean, you've been in the saddle for a while. You've got experience. If you're delegating to younger attorneys, of course you should share. You know what? We've tried these things in the past. Here is a template. Here is an exemplar. Here is a best practice. Yes, share those things, but let them do the work the way they find most effective and efficient to create the outcome that you want. There are the four shifts to go from demand to command. Always remember, as a leader, your role isn't to do that work that you're delegating or you want your team to do. It's to lead the people who do, period, full stop. Your role isn't to do the work, it's to lead the people who do. When you're ready to become a world-class communicator and leader, let's talk because the success of your law firm depends on it. Thanks. I appreciate you being here. We are at time. As always, I honor your most valuable asset, which is your time. Thank you for being here. If you got questions, you got comments, make them. You've got, you can make them in the chat, you can make them by direct message. However, you can email me. If you want to connect, please email me. I'd love to have a conversation. My associate, Victoria, my executive assistant, will get you set up on a 30-minute strategy call. Be well. I'll talk to you next month.